Today we talk about 3 keys to stealing third base. Hey, what's going on, fellas? How we doing, man? Antonelli here. Today we're going to talk about 3 keys to stealing third base. Really, 3 tips that I think will really help you guys out and allow you to steal third base relatively easy if you know these 3 things. So let's take a look here real quick before we talk about it. There's an Atlanta Braves game, and we're going to see a steal of third. Get a huge jump by the base runner right here. So he's stealing this off the pitcher, no doubt about it. So let's talk about 3 keys, and then we'll delve into this a little deeper. Um, when you're stealing third, or when you want to steal third, there's really 3 things that you want to know. The first thing you want to know is when he pitches to the plate, does he look at second and pitch, or does he turn his head, look home, and pitch, or is it somewhere kind of in between? So you can see right here, this pitcher for the Brewers likes to look home. So he's going to look at the base runner. He's going to turn his head. He's going to look home. And then he's going to pitch. Okay. So that's the first thing. We want to know that so that we understand when we can kind of get going. So once we figure out the next 2 things, we need to know if he's going to look at us and pitch or look home and pitch. It'll make more sense in a second. The second thing is, what are his maximum looks to second base? So if you pay attention, not just when you're base running, but when you're on the bench, anytime there's another runner on second base, and just pay attention to the amount of looks that he does. A good pitcher will mix up their looks. So sometimes they'll look once, sometimes they'll look back, look twice. Even sometimes guys will do 3 looks. It's rare, but some guys will do 3 looks. But if you can figure out what his maximum number of looks are, then it gives you a huge advantage. Because if you know that he only looks 2 times and he'll never look 3, then once he looks a second time and turns his head, we can basically do what the base runner does here and start to take off for third base. If you know that the pitcher only looks a maximum of 1 time, then after he looks once and turns his head, we can take off. So it's really, really important to know what's the maximum number of looks that the pitcher will look at second base. The third thing to keep in mind and to understand is what's the pitcher's tempo. So to do that, we use UCLA. You can use really anything you want. You can count, you can go through the alphabet, whatever. But we'll say UCLA and figure out when the pitcher delivers the ball. A lot of pitchers are creatures of habit. They'll do the same thing all the time. So some guys will pitch all the time on L, or all the time on A, or all the time on C. Good pitchers will mix up the tempo. But if you've got a guy that's always pitching on L, well, then you can start to anticipate that. It's like jumping the snap or the count in football, and you can start to break right on that tempo. Okay. Now, there's a couple ways to do it. Once you know these things, let's say that you've got a guy that's a maximum 2 look guy. Okay. You've never seen him look 3 times. Then on the second look, so he looks at you a second time. When he turns his head, what you see here is the runner basically just start to take off. Now he's either going on the amount of looks or he's going on tempo. Whoever's pitching here clearly goes in the same either max look or tempo every single time because he just takes off. Once he looks away, he's certain that he's pitching and he starts to take off right here. So you can do it this way, or what you'll usually see is, let's say he's a max 2 look guy and he looks his second time and now he turns his head. I can start to creep off the base, start to shuffle off slowly, get my feet moving, get my momentum moving, and then once he picks up, I can go. The danger with this right here is that you take off and all of a sudden he doesn't pitch on that tempo and people start yelling step off. But clearly this base runner is really keyed in on something with the pitcher because he knows that he's not going to look again. He's just pitching to the plate. And he gets a huge jump and he makes it. So if you know these 3 things, it's going to put you at a huge advantage over most base runners is going to give you a big advantage over the pitcher. And remember, stealing third base, the good thing about stealing third base is it's not always just about speed. When you steal second base, if you're a slow guy, it's going to be really difficult to steal second base. You're probably going to have to do a delay steal. Um, but if you're going to try to steal third base, well, then it becomes more of how savvy of a base runner are you. And there's guys that aren't really fast, but they're really smart. They pay attention, and by knowing some of these things that we're talking about, you can get a huge jump. Now, it always helps to be able to run a little bit. Um, but I've seen guys that are just average base runners, or guys, I should say, guys with average speed that are really smart base runners. They study the game and they're able to steal third pretty easily. And I think for some guys, or for a lot of guys, stealing third is actually easier than stealing second base. So really important to be heads up at all times during the game, not just when you're on the bases, but you should be getting this info when you're on the bench, when you're watching the game, when you're watching other guys get to second base. You don't want to wait till you get out there, then all of a sudden, okay, let's figure out how many looks does he usually do. Where's he look when he pitches? What's his tempo? You should know all of this stuff before you get on the bag. So let me know if you have any questions. Leave in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Give it a thumbs up. Share with all your friends. Help spread the word. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Antonelli Baseball and on Twitter, Antonelli9. Also, check out the description box below where I put a bunch of links to videos and training tools and books that I've been reading lately or watching that I found have helped our guys. I think you guys will find those useful. Thank you again for watching. Good luck to you guys, and we will talk to you later.